Okay guys, we're back. Did you miss us? Because we missed you.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you guys can see from the title of the video, this is a Love Island reunion review. If you are new to the channel, thank you so much for stopping by. You can check out my takes on the whole Love Island season so you guys could see where I stood. If you are not new to my channel, if you are not new to my Love Island reviews, then you guys already know how I felt about this season of Love Island. We are going to get into it because we have so much stuff to discuss. All I ask is that you guys give me a thumbs up. You guys know that it helps me out a lot. If you are new, go and check out the rest of the content, and if you like what you see, subscribe. Legit 5 in the morning, y'all. I literally said that I was going to film this video in the morning. Not this morning, I'm talking about like when I wake up at 10 a.m. But I didn't. I had so much on my mind. I got so much on my mind. I had so much on my mind. And I was like, y'all, if I do not get everything out, I am going to forget. So literally, y'all, I have a note full of the whole entire reunion. My honest opinion, I would give the reunion a 5 out of 10. The reunion, in my honest opinion, was very boring and they could have kept it. They addressed everything. Andy was Andy. Messy. And one thing that I've noticed about Andy throughout the years, Andy picks somebody that he does not like and he picks at them throughout the whole entire reunion. He did that with Nene Leakes. If you guys remember Real Housewives of Atlanta, he hated Nene Leakes. And believe it or not, Andy is one of the prime reasons why Nene got fired, because she went off on him and she basically said that she couldn't film with him anymore because he was showing favoritism. And a lot of people were getting on Nene for saying that, but it's the God honest truth. Like, Andy picks somebody to pick on and he picks on them, and no matter whether they are right or wrong, once Andy don't like that person, he decides that that's who he's going, that's his target or died. But yeah, as I was stating before, Andy picks and chooses and he picks at the person, and I feel like he did that with Huda. And honestly, I'm here for it. I know I'm here for it because honestly speaking, Andy's messy. You know, I used to love me some Nene, and when Andy used to pick at Nene, I used to be irritated too, but you know, he gets all the juice out, he gets all the tea. So I'm not saying that the reunion was messy. I mean, I'm not saying that the reunion was boring because of the host. The host did what they needed to do. They addressed everything inside and outside of the villa. But at the same time, the reunion was still very like boring. I'm sorry. There was parts throughout the reunion where the only reason why I was paying attention is because I knew I had to review a video for you guys. If I did not have to review a video for you guys, it would have been a lot of parts in the reunion where I probably would have just been on my phone playing. So we are going to get straight into it. The scene opens up with Andy talking to Chris. So many people were talking about how Huda is so PR and media trained. But honestly, Chris talks about that he does not want nothing to do with Huda and that he does not see himself being friends with Huda and that he can forgive Huda. But one thing that I would like Chris to do, whether he wants to be friends with Huda or not, is he needs to reach out to Huda and figure out who did she hire to get media trained and who did she hire to get PR trained. Because Chris is so not PR trained and it's so classless to see. But Chris irritates me. Like, I don't think you guys understand how much Chris irritates me. The way he slouches on the couch, it's like, bro, you're on TV. The way he answers questions when Andy was asking him questions about Huda and he was like, I don't know, I don't know. Like, it's just like so like, it's like classless, you know what I mean? And it comes off like very like, I don't know, like it just comes off very classless and it comes off very like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, Chris just irritates me. Like, he just, like, Chris's whole aura, his whole demeanor irritates me. So Andy just asked him various things like, how does he feel about Huda? Has he been talking to Huda since he's left the villa? And he addresses the fact that he does not like the fact that Huda was going on podcasts talking mess about him after he left the show. You came back from the villa and seen how many supporters Huda had. Because just as much as people hated her, the liking for Huda was a lot as well. And all of a sudden, you wanted to attach your name to her. Because the last time we left off, before y'all went to the finale, you were celebrating the fact that you and her were not talking anymore. You were celebrating the fact that she broke things off with you so your punk ass didn't have to do so. Now, all of a sudden, you go home and you get on a podcast and you want to lie and say, oh, me and Huda are really good friends and da-da-da, knowing that you and Huda are not friends, knowing that you and Huda have not spoken to each other since y'all made that note to each other at the very finale and had to sing it and write it and say it in front of the world. Pretend like y'all were so grateful to make it to the final when both of y'all couldn't stand each other. You're fake as hell. Your sister came on the internet talking about that Huda needs to know how to deal with a real man, and Chris was a real man, and if Huda could, all this weird ass shit. The mother was like, all this weird stuff that happened. And then you mad because what? You mad because Huda went on the Call Her Daddy podcast and called you out. Said, I don't know why the hell he acted like we cool. We are not cool. I don't F with him. This and that. You mad because of what? Then you over here talking about that you don't appreciate people talking about you anyhow, but you literally had your family members talking mess on the internet about her and never once addressed it, never once called your sister and said stay out of it. Huda never involved her sisters in y'all situation. Her sisters always kept quiet and mute. Your sisters had something to say, and I'm not saying that Chris's sisters can't speak, because at the end of the day, that's family. But the thing with Huda, we're gonna get to Huda. I got something for Huda. Let's talk about Amaya and Brian before we really get into the meats and the potatoes. You guys don't know, Ryan, I said Ryan, well, he might as well be Ryan. Oh shit. I tell you one thing, Brian needs to catch a grip, because if Brian don't catch a grip, we gonna forget about his ass within the next month, okay? Because the reason why Brian won that money is because of Amaya, okay? Majority of the people who voted for Brian and Amaya literally only voted for Amaya, okay? So if you guys don't know, Brian and Amaya have recently unfollowed each other on Instagram, and everybody's trying to speculate what went wrong. There's been so many rumors that have speculated that ever since both of them have left the villa, Brian's been acting like a free man. He's been acting like a single man. We've seen him at clubs, hosting different events and stuff like that. We have seen him pour different drinks in girls' mouths, give girls different shots and stuff like that. And Andy took the moment to address him. And one thing that I've noticed about Brian is that when he is wrong, he blinks his eyes a lot. I've noticed that about Brian. He just started blinking his eyes, and I'm just looking at Brian like, your 15 minutes is about to be up. You can play all you want. Your 15 minutes is about to be up. Also, to the people who are mad that they won, I don't give a damn. I'll be seeing people commenting like, this is who y'all let win. This is who y'all let win. I'm sorry, I didn't vote Brian, okay? I voted Amaya. And I know some people about to be like, well, that's not what Love Island is. Well, baby, that's what my Love Island is, because everybody started having their favorites and everybody started picking and choosing, and baby, I did the same thing, okay? And everybody else who voted for Amaya did the same thing as well. And this is not the first season where somebody have individually voted for some people to win. The last season, season 11, Love Island UK, when Mimi and Josh won, majority of the people in the UK only voted for Mimi to win. It didn't matter if Mimi went to the finale with a dog on a leash walking next to her. Mimi and that dog would have won. And I was satisfied with that. And literally, the same shit happened. 2 weeks after they got out of the villa, they broke up. They're not even in a relationship no more. Josh got a whole new girlfriend, and Mimi is there doing, you know, get ready with me's and traveling all over the world. You know what I mean? And I ain't mad at the fact that Mimi won, because that's who I wanted to win. So for the people who feel some type of way about us voting for Amaya and Brian, I understand, but at the same time, I don't regret my vote. I'm just being honest. If Brian want to play and he wants to become irrelevant, he can do that, because we only like him because of Amaya, and I hope he knows that. He even went to go limit his comments, and I'm like, no, don't limit your comments. You did what you did, because I don't know if you guys know, they recently went on an interview, and Brian was damn near trying to shoot his shot at Huda's sister.
Yeah, most attractive, I would say Huda's sister.
What? That's right.
Yeah, you all on TikTok, Brian.
Alandra's mom was cool as shit, too.
Brian, my thing is this. The fact that Brian tried to shoot his shot at Huda's sister lets me and all of us know that him and Amaya are probably not together, and they're probably just trying to ride the coattails so nobody says anything. But damn, at the very least, if you guys are going to do that, at the very least, Brian could try to fake it for the camera. It's like he don't care. It's like the disrespect when it comes to Amaya is becoming louder. And it's like, okay, if that's the case, then be a man about it and say that you don't want to be with Amaya no more. Because when I went on his TikTok, he limited his comments. And I'm like, no, don't limit your comments. Keep your comments on, because you wanted to be bold. You wanted to shoot your shot to Amaya, to Huda's sister, in front of the whole world, including Amaya that's standing right next to you. Now all of a sudden you want to limit your comments, and I can guarantee y'all one thing. The reason why they unfollowed each other is because that blog dropped, and then Amaya couldn't take it no more, because it's embarrassing at this point. It's so obvious that they are not together, and it's so obvious that as soon as they came from that house, because I don't know if you guys remember, after the villa, they after the villa, they stayed in the house for a week to do interviews and stuff like that. After that week of them being in that house together, Brian was a single man. He didn't care no more. We're gonna talk about Nick and how he decided that he's not going to speak to Cierra. So Andy talks to Nick and Ariana as well. And they ask Nick, has he spoken to Cierra since he's left the villa? They ask Nick and they ask Olandria. And both of them say no. And they ask Nick why he hasn't spoken to Cierra. And Nick basically says that the reason why he hasn't spoken to Cierra is because he feels some type of way about the fact that when they all got home, Cierra was making different videos about them and shading them. My thing is this. Nick is so performative and it's so annoying to watch. And I feel like so many people like Olandria so much that they let Nick get away with murder. Because Nick, in my honest opinion, has done worse than what Taylor has done in that house. Nick is bad. And nobody's going to convince me otherwise. Nick can say whatever the hell that he wants to say about how Cierra was shading him and this and that. And I'll be seeing videos of people talking about Cierra needs to move on. Cierra needs to move on. My thing is this. How can Cierra move on with no closure? Now you tell me this. You tell me this. And I don't want to hear, oh, that one. No, you tell me this. If you were on a show where you were literally hunching somebody every night, somebody that you thought that you were going to end up in a relationship with after the show, you were hunching that person every single night, you were building a bond with that person, you thought that that person was building a bond with you, you thought that that person liked you just as much as you liked them, you randomly get kicked off the show for some other various reasons, you go home, you see that your best friend in that same show is now coupled up with the guy that you really liked, and you think that it's just for show purposes. The guy comes home, he's going to either A, address you and let you know, hey, I actually do like your friend, or B, come back to you. He comes home and he gives you nothing. He goes with A, but not only does he go with A, he doesn't even address you. He acts like you don't exist. He acts like he basically acts like you and him never happened. He acts like you guys never existed. You guys let me know. How would you feel? It's like people keep saying Cierra needs to move on, but did Cierra get closure to move on? But most importantly, on Nick's end, did she get closure to move on? And it's like, I just don't understand how y'all don't see that Nick is there's some missing screws when it comes to Nick. And the thing is, it's not missing screws as far as Nick's intelligent. Nick is very intelligent, but I see through Nick. Nick is so freaking performative. I mean, like, really look at Nick sideways is the fact that he said she started prioritizing some attention. It's like you trying to undermine, or you trying to, how can I describe it? What am I trying to say? It's like Nick is basically not, like, invalidating her feelings. Maybe what Cierra was doing was attention seeking, but two things can be true at once. Maybe it was a cry out for help. Maybe it was a moment for her to be like, I'm hurting. I am hurt. And y'all already know, if you guys are new to my channel, I don't like Cierra. I call Cierra, and the people in the comments that watched all my Love Island takes, y'all better let them know. I called Cierra out way before people started calling out Cierra. I never liked Cierra. But we're not gonna sit here and act like what Nick didn't do was weird. At the very least, Nick owes Cierra a conversation. Then on top of that, Nick over here talking about that the reason why he didn't speak to Cierra was because of the stuff that she was saying when they came back home. Cierra wasn't popping her shit for real until like the second week of them being back home, and her peeping like, oh, this boy has no intentions to talk to me. This boy has no intentions to address me. These people are acting like I don't exist. That's when Cierra started popping her shit. Nick trying to make it look like he got home and Cierra immediately started making videos. No, Cierra didn't even start making videos till a couple of weeks of them being home. My thing is this. Nick wants to make an excuse as to why he didn't talk to Cierra. And I don't want to hear nothing of, oh, well, they just got home. He don't have time for that. Because when it came time for Chris to address Huda, back when they were all in the villa, and Jeremiah to address Huda, back when they were all in the villa, and Jeremiah decided that he didn't want to talk to Huda right then and there, Nick was the main one talking about, oh, I lost respect for you. That's why I said Nick is so performative. The rules apply to everyone but him. And it's like, y'all let him do it just because y'all like Olandria. And it's like, two things can be true at once. Y'all can like Olandria and y'all can also call Nick out for his shit. He could be doing bullshit and I don't see how none of us call it out. So now we're going to talk about Olandria. And y'all, if you guys see my blanket, I'm getting kind of cold. But okay, let me try to be classy, y'all. This is a review. But now we're going to talk about Olandria and Coco. So if you guys do not know, Coco went on a podcast, basically was talking about how Olandria was a little standoffish. Not just Olandria, but the original girls were standoffish. Olandria kept saying her man, her man, her man. But when it came down to it, Taylor embarrassed her and she was shocked. And Olandria felt some type of way because Coco spoke on their situation. And initially, y'all, when the situation first happened, I was side-eyeing Coco a little bit because I'm like, that didn't have nothing to do with you. If you guys watch my Love Island takes, I felt the same exact way. Like, I literally felt the same way that Coco felt. She kept saying her man, but it's like when it came down to the nitties and gritties, Taylor was showing her very evidently that he was not rocking with her no more. But my thing is, I don't understand why Coco couldn't leave that conversation for Clark. Because it's a whole different ball game when you're actually on the show and you have to be careful what you say. Because that had nothing to do with you. Like, like, Eve, yeah, you seen it. Yeah, you were there to experience it. But I personally feel like once Winter started being messy and asking Coco questions like, you know, how did you feel about the Olandria situation? She should have kept it very media trained and PR trained. If it was me, I would have been like, you know, honestly speaking, we didn't know Olandria like that. We didn't know her, you know, and I was just shocked when Taylor did what he did. But at the same time, I wasn't, because Taylor was showing interest in Clark. That's it. Keep it, like, if Winter want to get mad because you gave boring responses, let Winter get mad because you gave boring responses. Oh freaking well. You're better off giving boring responses than giving responses that can be clipped farm and people can, you know, mistranslate this and that, right? So that's where I'm at with that whole live situation. I mean, that whole podcast situation. But let me put a pin on that. While they were going back and forth, Coco told Olandria that it wasn't a dig at her. It wasn't to be shady towards her. And then she said that she even DM'd her to explain herself. So Olandria, did she see the DM? Olandria proceeds to say, yeah, I saw the DM and I don't want to, like, basically brushed it off. Like, she don't give a damn. She feels how she feels. But my thing is this. If Coco DM'd you and explained herself and apologized for what happened and how it came off, why do you feel the need to still brush it off? And then say stuff like, no, like how you publicly embarrass me. You need to publicly say sorry, this and that. At the end of the day, you knew that you were going to see Coco at the reunion regardless, and you knew that that situation was going to get addressed regardless. So in my honest opinion, I'm confused as to why you are upset at the fact that Coco DM'd you. Because I have been in Coco's lives and Coco have cleared up that situation, that conversation many times. Because Coco got a lot of hate for that podcast. She got a lot of hate. And I have seen her lives where she said, guys, that's not what I meant. I never would disrespect Olandria. Like, she's literally said that several times. So just like how you're sitting here saying, oh, just like how you publicly embarrass me, you need to publicly apologize. It's the same shit that Coco did. I do think that Coco made a mistake addressing Olandria the way she did, but she cleaned it up really well, but you didn't allow her to clean it up. And it's like, this is the reason as to why people always accuse people like Shelly and Olandria of being mean girls. Because you can't even give somebody the same grace that you will want. You can't even come to a concise answer with the simple fact that Coco made a mistake. Was Coco speaking out of turn? Yeah. But the fact that Coco DM'd you and apologized and explained herself. The fact that Coco has went on live and basically said, hey, like, I wasn't trying to do Olandria. I was just talking about the experience we had on the show. And I was just, and then you even solidified it by saying, yes, I was standoffish. So it's like, what are you mad about? You're mad about the shit that was right? The girl said the right shit. She said Olandria was standoffish. And I just don't understand as to why you're upset about that. Like, I don't get, because she wasn't even just upset about the whole my man situation. She was also upset at the fact that Coco said that she was standoffish. You were. you were standoffish. I don't know. It just, my brain wasn't processing what was going on. And me personally, I feel like when it comes to Shelly and Olandria, when they get offended by somebody, it's nothing that that person can say that can make them feel better. What I've noticed about Shelly and Olandria is that they are very, they're not as forgiving as they act like they are. Andrea and Coco could have easily talked that out on the stage and like came to a, like, you know what I mean? Like they could have came to a tie, like a balance. But it's like Olandria was not trying to do that. It's like Olandria did not want to accept her apology. The fact that she acknowledged that she seen the DM and ignored it says a lot. The fact that the other day Coco tried to say hi to Olandria. So it's like Coco is continuously trying to, you know what I mean? And Olandria is continuously trying to push the narrative of, nah, I don't fuck with you. And I'm not saying that Olandria gotta fuck with her, but what I am saying is like, the forgiveness when it comes to them is weird. I'm sorry. I don't care what nobody say. And we get to the part where Huda says she was bullied. The thing is this. A lot of people are upset at the fact that Huda went on podcasts and said that she was bullied. And a lot of people have been clipping videos of Huda in the house hugging the girls that she said bullied her. Or like, this don't look like somebody that was bullied. I feel like we all as a whole know that Huda is a people pleaser. All know that Huda's a people pleaser. We all know that Huda second guesses herself. Literally, there were so many times in the podcast where Huda said that she felt like she was being bullied, but she was thinking like, maybe I'm tripping. She literally said that there were several times in the house where she felt like they were talking about her behind her back, but she was like, maybe I'm tripping. Like, you know, let me not overthink it. And she got home and she seen clips and everything that she thought they were doing, she was right. And my thing is this. I don't understand why people are so upset at the fact that Huda says that she was bullied, but when Nick repeatedly, he said it twice on 2 different podcasts, says that Huda was bullied in the house and she was isolated, nobody bats an eye. Like, nobody says anything. If anybody on their side says anything, people just say, I mean, Huda's insufferable. I would have bullied her too. People justify the bullying. Other than that, nobody really says much whenever Nick says it. Whenever Huda says she felt bullied, everybody gets so angry. Everyone gets in an uproar. It's like, why are y'all mad about the same shit that Nick said in the villa? I don't get it. And I just don't understand why people like, bro, you can like your faves and you can at the same time address real shit. It won't take away from you liking your faves. You feel me? Like, if Olandria or Shelly was one of my faves, I'll be like, look, I like them, but you know, they were bullying the girl. Oh well, I like them though. But it's like the fact that y'all want to act as if the bullying was just not happening, was just isolated, as if isolation is not a form of bullying, says a lot. We're going to talk about Amaya and Zach, and Amaya and Zach got addressed. Basically, Brian called out Zach because Zach basically said in one of his lives that Amaya and Zach's relationship is, Amaya and Brian's relationship is not real, and then Brian is pretending. And honestly speaking, Zach acts like he doesn't say that. He acts like he didn't say that. He was acting delusional and shit. But shit, Zach was right. Look, they don't even follow each other no more. You feel me? And it's crazy because Brian was so mad about that. But it's like, it's starting to give that Brian was mad about that because there was some truth to it and he didn't like the fact that Zach said it. Let's talk about Austin. Because I feel like we're not really talking about Austin for real. Austin is a hoe. And y'all was laughing every time I was saying Austin needs to get the hell out the villa. But it's like, this reunion solidified all my thoughts on Austin. Austin did not go there to find love. Austin did not go there to get in a relationship. Austin went there to be a hoe, and he found out that he was not that guy. Austin went to the show in hopes to be a hoe and to talk to several different women, and he found out real quick that he was not really like that guy. Austin, in my honest opinion, is not that attractive. He's just a tall, lanky man. And Austin has a very racial and weird, dramatic past, and nobody wants to talk about it. Austin is a weirdo. Andy asked him about him and Jaden's relationship, and Austin is acting as if he doesn't remember the boundaries she set for him. He's trying to play her, talking about I didn't respond to that message. Literally, what's this girl name? I don't remember. I think Adriana. Yeah, Adriana had to say, no, you did respond. You said ABCD. He's like, oh, well, I didn't say it like that. Austin was given that he was hooked on drugs throughout that whole entire thing. Austin's just a weirdo. We're going to talk more about him later, but we're going to just put a pin in that. Let's address Huda and the notes. They show a clip of Huda writing a note on the Stand on Business challenge about how Pepe does not like Grayson for real and that he is just using her. And everybody's trying to figure out who wrote that note, who said it, and Huda acts as if she does not know what's going on. Later on that night, Huda decides to tell Chris, hey, I'm the one who wrote that note. Huda should have said it. Huda should have said I did it. If you have the balls enough to write some shit about me, put it on the floor. But at the same time, the only reason why Pepe was so upset was because it was the God honest truth. And the fact that Pepe tried to make it look like it was like Huda did bad, it just like Pepe was trying to basically like deflect, like he was trying to take himself out of the equation. And just watching it, it's like, I'm just like, Pepe don't take responsibility for his actions. And I don't know how people don't see that, because I see it. Like, I literally, like, throughout the whole entire season, y'all know I was on Pepe's ass. Pepe does not know how to take responsibility for his actions. And I am so happy that Grayson did not put all her energy on Huda. Huda went, she apologized for what she did. I'm happy that Grayson told him, you ruined my experience, because Pepe did not like Grayson. And that's the reason why when y'all were there talking about, oh, he misses Hannah and all that bullshit, I was not buying into that propaganda. Pepe did not miss Hannah. Pepe was a certified slut in that villa as well, just like Austin. The only difference between him and Austin is because he is that he actually got to be a hoe because of the fact that a lot of the girls in the villa did find him attractive. That was the only difference between him and Austin. If Austin had the face of Pepe, they would have been doing the same thing. Sleeping with girls and kicking them out to the curb, you know, switching out girls like switcheroos and shit like that. It would have been the same exact shit. Because look what's going on right now. There's been rumors that Iris has unfollowed Pepe, and all of her sisters, her friends have all unfollowed Pepe, and there have been cheating allegations allegedly that Pepe was caught cheating on Iris. And I'm not surprised, because like I told y'all before, Pepe don't like nobody. Pepe don't like nobody. Pepe and Iris' relationship was very fake and curated and lustful to begin with, and I'm not surprised. Like, Pepe doesn't know how to take responsibility. And like I said, when I was doing these Love Island reviews, a lot of the times people be infantilizing these men. Like, that's what I got to see the whole entire season. People infantilizing these men because they was quiet or they was cute or this or that and shit. And the misogyny ran rapid this season, and we are getting to see it unfold and unravel one by one with Brian, with Pepe. It's like we're beginning to see all like them just unravel one by one. And I feel like this season we focused so much on the woman that we didn't get to really overanalyze the man. And that is the reason why I wasn't falling into the, oh, I feel so bad for Jeremiah narrative with the whole situation when he got dumped from the villa. That's the reason why I wasn't feeling bad for Chris when Huda was, you know, treating Chris how she was treating Chris, because these men needed that type of treatment. I'm sorry. I feel like this situation that I'm about to address is equivalent to the season 6 situation when everybody was trying to figure out if Leah took the back seat, and then we found out that Leah indeed did not take the back seat. And if you guys go back to my reviews on that, I knew from the very beginning that Leah had a lot to do with the dumping of Andrea, and so many people were getting mad at me when I was saying it. And then when the reunion came and we got to see the actual real footage of how they were voting these girls out, we got to see that Leah did not take the back seat. She literally participated in the talking of who they wanted to dump. I was looking at everybody like I told y'all. That's how I felt tonight. That's how I felt tonight. Every time I said that Shelly needed to take accountability, everybody was sitting here asking me for what. It was always like that. Like, every time I said Shelly needs to take accountability, people kept saying, take accountability for what? For what? It didn't matter whether I was talking about Huda. It didn't matter whether I was talking about Ace. It's like they just felt like Shelly did not need to take no type of accountability. I am so happy that they played the full entire clip of the situation with Huda, Shelly, and Chris. How I felt is how I still feel, and I am happy that I'm right. I was right the whole time. I knew I was right. I didn't need to watch that to know what I saw the first time I seen it. Because even though we didn't get to see that clip, I seen a clip when Huda came up to Shelly and told Shelly that she is interested in exploring a connection with Chris, and that she knows for a given fact that Chris likes Shelly, she would still like to explore a connection and see, you know, if Shelly ends up dating Ace, she would still like to see if her and Chris have something going on. Huda could have had the chance to bring JD back. And I know a lot of people are like, oh no, that's not true. Yes, that is true, because even though they got into their little argument, Huda could have brought JD back, or she could have brought somebody else back, but she wanted to bring back Chris. That's who Huda wanted to bring back. She wanted to bring Chris back. When I first said this, I said, I don't know in what mind, because my thing is this. Even if Huda didn't say, oh, this is for both of us, even if Huda said this is for you, Shelly, what in Shelly's mind made Shelly believe that Huda was bringing a nigga back for her? This is, at the end of the day, this is still a competition. It's still a love show, and this is still a competition for 50K. What in Shelly's mind made it seem like that Huda was just doing it for Shelly only? I'm confused. And I said that the first time, and people were getting so angry at me saying, no, that's not the point. The point is Huda didn't make it clear that she was doing it for her as well. And I'm like, yes, she did. Are we watching the same show? And it was actually so crazy because throughout the whole entire season, I was getting so mad because I'm like, I'm convinced we're not watching the same show. Like, I'm highly convinced we're not watching the same show, because Huda literally came up to this girl and said, this is what I want to do. I like the guy. I know the guy likes you, but this is what I want to do. How do you feel? And Shelly let it happen. So to come now and to act as if like you didn't know what was going on and keep saying, I'm confused. I'm so tired of hearing Shelly say she's confused. Shelly, you're not confused. Tell the truth. And that's why I said, that's one thing I don't like about Shelly, because Shelly don't tell the truth about what she really mad about. Let's keep it a buck. Shelly did not like the fact that the same guy that was interested in her was interested in Huda as well. That's what it is. Because once we looked at the full entire clip of when Huda sat her down and talked about how she wanted to explore a connection with Chris, Shelly did not like it. Because when Huda asked her, how do you feel? She said she got mixed emotions. And then Huda asked her like, hey, like, do you feel like, oh yeah, like this is a good idea? Shelly was low-key trying to say, nah, I'm not fucking with it. But Shelly went and said, okay, yeah, do it. Then got mad at the fact that Huda did it for real. And that's what I'm saying. Shelly lacks accountability, because Shelly don't know how to say, you know what? I ain't gonna lie. I didn't like the fact that he liked you as well. I wanted both of them. And I said it throughout the whole entire season. I said, this is not Poly Island, Shelly. You can't be juggling all these men around. The fact that Shelly was juggling Austin and Ace around that long shows the type of person that Shelly is when it comes to dating. Shelly likes having options. I can guarantee you guys, throughout her lifetime, throughout her growing up before she has made it to this moment now, Shelly has beat the odds when it comes to the dating game. I know men swarm over her. I know women swarm over her. The fact that she's bisexual. Shelly is used to having attention. Shelly is used to guys liking her and just like going crazy over her. And I feel like Huda was stopping a lot of those, like stopping that from happening. Because people get so mad when I say that Ace wanted Huda, but Ace wanted Huda. In that very beginning, Ace wanted Huda. Now, do I think that Ace wanted Huda throughout the whole entire season? No. When Huda started acting like a wild banshee, Ace was like, I'm good. But in the very beginning, Ace wanted Huda. And Shelly knows that Ace wanted Huda. And I feel like Shelly did not like that. And that's why that whole heart rate challenge, which we're about to get into in a bit, that's why that shit bit Shelly in the ass. And that's why Shelly didn't like that shit, because she knows that her man wants Huda. She not dumb. You feel me? Shelly lacks accountability. And it was just so weird to watch, because after they showed the whole entire footage, she literally was like, well, they didn't show more. And I'm looking like, what more do they need to show? Like, I'm actually confused. Like, what more do they need to show? Yes, granted, they didn't show more. But at the end of the day, what Huda said happened on the reunion, on the stage, happened. She came up to you. She told you about her interest in the guy. She told you about the fact that the guy likes you as well. And she basically said, man, the best women win. And honestly speaking, Huda won by default, because you went to the podium to go show your ass on the podium. And then Chris, with his avoidant ass, shut down and decided that you weren't for him anymore after that. Huda won by default. You came back home and started attending to Ace. Like, she wasn't really giving Chris any type of attention when they got back to the regular house. Because like I said, Shelly is so used to attention, and she's so used to guys swarming over her and just being all over her. She's not used to being the one to chase. And I'm not saying that Shelly's supposed to be chasing, but I am saying if you are dating two guys and if you are decided that you want to deal with two guys, you have to be ping-ponging back and forth to figure out which two guys you want to deal with. But that's not what Shelly was trying to do. Shelly wanted to do a Austin situation where Austin was waking up and cooking breakfast for her and shit and complaining about Shelly in the confessionals. And then Ace was making breakfast and bringing flowers. And Shelly wanted to be pampered. She wanted to be pampered. This wasn't a I wanted Chris situation. This was a I want to be pampered. And then when it's all said and done, I'm going to choose Ace. And that shit ain't right. And I just don't understand as to why Shelly's fans don't understand that that's not right. Like, I don't get it. I really don't get how Shelly's fans don't see that's not right. And the thing is, I don't dislike Shelly. But this reunion, she pissed me off. She pissed me off. So then the camera panned over to Jeremiah. Jeremiah is out on the stage by now. We get to talking about the whole Jeremiah versus Ace situation. Jeremiah got kicked off. They end up showing footage how the guys ended up dumping Jeremiah the night of that dumping. Come to find out that Nick did not want Jeremiah to go home, which honestly speaking, I don't believe nothing that Nick says. I think that Nick, like I said before, is very performative. And Nick has been studying Love Island and he's not dumb. He knew that all this was going to happen. I do not believe that Nick did not want Jeremiah to go home. I definitely think that Nick knew that this was going to get played back. And the reason why I say that is because there's been times where Nick has made comments like, you know, guys, I think we need to leave Huda alone, this and that. But then any chance he got on a challenge or anything, he addressed something negative towards Huda. Like, Nick is just very performative. Nick knows that we are going to be looking at these different things. He knows that we're going to be talking about these different things. And he never wants to look like the person that is bullying one person or that is honing in on one person. We've seen that time and time again with Nick, and I feel like that's what he did with Jeremiah. I do feel like a part of him wanted Jeremiah to go home too, but I feel like because Taylor and Ace wanted Jeremiah to go home so strongly, he did not want to look like the one that like three of them that's just honing in on him and just, you know what I mean? Like, Nick is so performative, and I'm not gonna say I love Nick because I don't love Nick, but I love Nick's personality, but he's very performative and I can't stand it. Literally right after the reunion just aired today, he unfollowed Huda. I'm looking like, why you unfollow Huda? Is it not you that went on the show literally talking about how Huda was bullied and all this stuff, talking about how you love Huda and all this shit? And then people were saying that Olandria made him do it. Olandria did not make Nick unfollow Huda. If Olandria made Nick unfollow Huda, he would have unfollowed Huda the day that Olandria unfollowed Huda. He would not wait a whole 2-3 weeks later to do that. Like, no. He unfollowed Huda because he's very performative and he likes attention. Nick likes attention on him. And he likes people to be having his name in their mouth. That's the type of person Nick is. Let's get into the Jeremiah and Ace situation. Jeremiah irritates me. Jeremiah irritates the hell out of me. I try so hard to listen to Jeremiah and to see where he's coming from, but Jeremiah does not make sense to me when he speaks. It's like, what I've noticed about Jeremiah is that he's like a textbook type of person. He tries to use like critical thinking to try to argue with you, but I see through Jeremiah, and people like Jeremiah cannot use critical thinking to argue with me because I would debunk everything. The fact that he tried to talk to Huda and say, can you give me the definition of love bomb? Like, it's like very like nerdy, like, but ain't nothing wrong with it, but it's like, you nerdy like, but you can't do that to somebody who thinks like the way I do. Because the problem that I have with Huda is that Huda keep copping pleas. Whatever you said he did, you need to stand 10 toes. Like how you was standing 10 toes in that villa, you need to stand 10 toes. Huda is very media trained, in my honest opinion, too media trained. She's a little too media trained. Like, it's like we're dealing with a robot that only has like a couple of words to come out of it. You press the button, it's like, I'm sorry. You press the button, it's like, yeah. You press the button, it's like, I feel so bad for you. You press the button, it's like, I'm so glad. Look at how good you're doing in life. It's like Huda was just saying the same shit to everybody over and over again every time she kept getting addressed, and it's very annoying. Because it's like, nah, like, you had something to say in your podcast about these people. You had shit to say in your confessionals. You had shit to say in the villa. And I agreed with some of the shit that she was saying. But now that it's time to address it, you cop and please. You know what I mean? And you acted as if like, you know, I'm just over it. And da da da. And yes, granted, maybe she is over it. This is a traumatizing situation for everybody. This season was ass. You feel me? And whenever I say this season was ass, people always get in my comments like, girl, do you see how many views they got? I'm not talking about in terms of revenue and views. I'm talking about in terms of finding love. I'm talking about in terms of, and I don't want to hear about Shelly and Ace. I don't care if Shelly and Ace get married. I don't care for their couple because individually, they lack accountability and they lack nuance, and I don't care. You know, they are perfect for each other. The way Ace acts is low-key the way Shelly acts. Like they don't have self-awareness. And yeah, I don't care. You feel me? I don't care if they get married. I don't really care. We don't have good couples this season. A lot of people's lives have been turned upside down just from going to that villa. Like, this season was a mess, you feel me? And Huda, I understand that you are over it now because of how traumatizing this season was, but we are at the reunion. It's time to address whatever you need to address before everyone goes on with their life. Address your shit or keep quiet, you feel me? Like, keep quiet. If you're not gonna address your shit on the stage, don't say nothing. That's to anybody, because now she mad about the fact that Andy was calling her out and stuff. And now she's addressing the fact that Andy Cohen is a Zionist and stuff, and he doesn't, and like, you know, because Andy called out her relationship with Lewis, and she didn't want to, you know, say anything, and people were mad at the fact that she did not want to talk about her relationship, and Andy kept asking, so she got mad, and no, if you gonna go address shit online, address that shit at the reunion. Don't wait to get online to address it. Ace and Jeremiah were arguing. Ace basically said that Jeremiah was talking about getting a lot of money and followers after the show, was asking them how many followers do they think they're going to get, stuff like that, basically trying to insinuate that Jeremiah was there for the money and the fame. Jeremiah got mad talking about ain't nobody there for the 50K. I'm looking at Jeremiah like, yeah, you're a damn liar. And everything that Jeremiah says is a joke whenever he gets called out. I literally said it around the time that Huda said that she was a mom and she asked Jeremiah how does she feel about it. The boy literally said that if they win, he wouldn't care. And the thing is with Jeremiah, it's like Jeremiah says shit like that and then tries to say it was a joke. All good jokes contain true shit, and we already know that. You might be joking, but nah, that's not a joke. You deadass was feeling that way because you literally said that kids is a deal breaker for you. Now all of a sudden this girl in the villa that you are talking to has a kid, and now all of a sudden it's not a deal breaker as long as y'all win. Even though I don't like Ace, some of the shit that Ace was saying was true. Jeremiah was definitely in that villa trying to win, and the fact that Jeremiah's trying to downplay it, talking about what is 50K, like trying to act like he don't know, like I'm looking at Jeremiah like, catch a freaking grip. You know damn well had you made it to that final and you and Huda won, you would not be sitting up here talking about what is 50K. You saying that now because of how all the shit went. Also, Austin is a pussy. Ace is asking you call me a ringleader. Austin is like, I don't know. Austin gets on my damn nerves. Like, everything about Austin today disgusts me. The fact that Andy asked him about his body count and he was saying, I subtract them, I forget about them. I'm looking like, ugh. And I just don't understand. For the people who stay defending Jeremiah in my comment section, for the people who stay saying Jeremiah is a good person, I just don't understand how y'all don't see something wrong with the fact that Jeremiah is literally best friends with a racist and a fucking bigot and an asshole. Austin is an asshole. I said asshole. Austin is a racist. Like, he has been caught making racial reposts on his TikTok, which have been taken down by his team as soon as we found it. And Austin is a hoe and he is an asshole. He doesn't care about women. He is a misogynist. It's very obvious. The fact that he made that comment talking about I subtract them on national television, and y'all sitting up here telling me that Jeremiah is a good person, and I don't want to hear, oh, Jeremiah's his own person. No, I don't want to hear that, because y'all niggas, y'all wasn't saying that Jeremiah was his own person when y'all was there with that Billie Eilish talking about some birds of a feather, we should stick together. And everybody know that birds of a feather flock together. The Bible literally says to be careful with your inner circle, because literally when you start hanging out with each other, everybody acts as one. The Bible literally talks about keeping certain company around you and stuff. And you mean to tell me that Jeremiah is a good person? And even when Austin was answering some of the questions that he was answering, Jeremiah was giggling. He think that shit is funny. And I'm looking like, and this is who y'all really sitting up here defending all season? Jeremiah? Y'all was sitting up here defending Jeremiah this whole entire season? Jeremiah is just as bad as Austin. He just don't act out as bad as Austin do. Austin is also a pussy. Every time Ace call out Austin, it's like his tongue got, like the cat got his tongue or something. He don't know what to say. He start doubling it down to my, oh, I didn't say ringleader. You said ringleader. Even in the back, when Ace was talking about the whole situation, people going home and stuff like that, and Shelly was chiming in, he literally said, that's a system that you designed. But as soon as you get on the stage, you don't call it out. And I'm happy that Charlie was calling shit out, because Charlie was clocking a lot of tea. And I'm happy he was clocking tea, because it's like Austin gets on my nerves. Like, all jokes aside, Austin gets on my nerves. And Ace was talking. Ace was basically saying that a lot of people had a lot of things to say when it was time to go home, but wasn't saying shit when we were in the villa. For one, Ace, a lot of people were not able to see y'all's confessionals. A lot of people were not able to see the opinions that y'all had about them when they were not near you. So that happened, you feel me? If I'm hanging out in the villa with people and I go home and I look at my TV screen or even my phone screen and I see clips of them talking shit about me and stuff like that, of course I'm gonna feel some type of way, you feel me? I don't understand why Ace, like, I don't know, like Ace was just like giving off like weird vibe. Also, Ace over here talking about nobody checked on him when he got hate. Ace, you were not the only person getting hate. And it's like when Ace was talking, I was like, that's that Leo in him. And the thing is, I've dated Leo men before, and I cannot date a Leo man. I love a Leo girl. Like my best friend, y'all know my best friend Chelsea, she's a Leo. But I can't date a Leo man because they think they have like a me syndrome. And it's so annoying because it's like, Ace, who are you to sit up here and say that nobody checked on you when you were going through the stuff you were going through, as if all of these other people were not going through stuff? It was Casa Amor girls that was only there for 2 episodes that got hate. But they was supposed to stop to say, Ace, are you okay? It was just like so weird, like watching Ace victimize himself. He went and called out Amaya for making fun of his height and stuff like that. I'm just looking at Ace like, oh my goodness. Like, can we catch a grip, Ace? You literally sat around here and you literally made fun of the fact that Amaya cries all the time, made fun of the fact that Amaya, called you a baby, basically got all these guys to dislike Amaya along with you. Now all of a sudden you crying because she made a TikTok with somebody and did not even know that the person was making that type of TikTok. And even went as far to address you and call you, and even went as far to try to call that person and try to get that person to take that video down, which the person didn't want to. Why would they? The video went viral. And you mad at Amaya because of that? And my thing is like, if Amaya addressed that with you off of camera, why are you bringing it up again? And it's like Ace is so mad about something that he started. You lied about your height. Had you came and you told everybody what your real height was, your height wouldn't be a topic of discussion. You're not the only short guy in the world. So after Ace and Jeremiah went back and forth about the whole dumping situation, Andy and Ariana asked them, how did y'all meet? And they basically talk about how they met at a nightclub. They just became social media friends afterward. The problem that I have with Ace's and Shelly's whole situation is that I personally feel like if Ace and Shelly knew that they knew each other, I don't care that they never dated. I don't care that they never really followed up with each other. They just became mutuals on socials. My thing is this: if Ace and Shelly knew for a given fact that prior to coming to the show that they knew each other, I don't understand as to why when they coupled up with each other that first day, they didn't address it. Because if you go back to, I think it was season 10 of Love Island UK with Tyreek and Ella. I don't know if, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. But I think that Tyreek basically said that he seen Ella at a night out. And that him and Ella, like, I don't know if they exchanged a kiss or what. Either Tyreek with the Ella that he ended up leaving the villa with, or another islander. But I think it was the original Ella. And it happened several times, because there was another time that Tyreek knew another islander that came inside the house later on that season. Tyreek addressed it. Like, and Tyreek wasn't the first person. There have been other seasons where certain people have known each other and been like, you look familiar. Who are you? And stuff like that. I just don't understand why Shelly and Ace didn't address that at the very first episode, so these rumors wouldn't come about. Because my thing is this: it's one thing to be mutuals. It's another thing for y'all to have had a little talking stage. And the way that the way that Ace was commenting on Shelly's old videos on TikTok and Instagram, it goes to show that they definitely had a little talking stage that didn't work out. It fizzled out. So my thing is, why wouldn't y'all talk about that when you first get to the villa? Like, if it was me personally, like if I was Ace, I would have been like, oh yeah, like me and Shelly, like I know her outside the villa, like we tried to make it work, but we didn't, like it didn't work. We talked for a little bit, we just became mutuals to shut down the noise. Because had Ace said that from the beginning, none of us would be talking about it. And that's what makes them look like, not credible. And I'm not saying that they planned this. I don't think they planned this, but I just feel like I feel like they are downplaying they're downplaying their relationship. They are. I don't care what nobody's saying. I don't think they purposely planned to come to the show and win the 50K. I don't think that's what it was. But I think they are watering down, and I think they are downplaying their relationship prior to the show. Now we are going to talk about Shelly, Huda, and Olandria. Basically, Olandria ends up crying, saying that Huda did not address her fans because her fans were basically making racial comments towards them. And Olandria even brought up the George Floyd situation, which I don't even understand. And that's what I'm saying. This reunion was ass because a lot of the Islanders were just, they didn't watch the show for real. And y'all had a month to watch that show and to dissect why we felt the way we felt. But y'all decided not to. Y'all decided to just watch TikTok clips of the show and watch little memes and commentaries of the show and, you know, come to the show and confront. And I don't agree with it, and I don't like it. Let me tell you why. Olandria is over here upset because of the fact that Huda did not defend her and did not tell her fans to stop with the hatred and the racist remarks. Throughout her talking about it, she brings up the George Floyd situation. And it pissed me off because Huda's fans is not who did the George Floyd situation. As a matter of fact, it was Shelly's fans who did the George Floyd situation, because the person who started that George Floyd meme, I don't even want to call it a meme because that is so disrespectful, but the person who started the George Floyd thing did not like Huda either. They did not like Huda. That was Shelly's stans who did that shit. And so I'm just looking like, are we really talking about who was being more racist to what? Because like I said in my takes, everybody was experiencing racism, and it had nothing to do with none of them. It had nothing to do with Huda, it had nothing to do with Shelly, and it had nothing to do with Olandria. The fans, the watchers, the viewers were acting a fool this season. But my thing is this, Huda did address the bullying. Huda did address the hate. And she even brought your name up in one of the podcasts talking about how much she loves you and that she does not condone bullying and that she does not condone hate on her end and that she asks her fans to stop.
And I don't condone hate. I don't condone bullying. I don't condone anything of that. I think people's safeties are at risk. Yeah. And the last thing I want is for anyone to feel unsafe or to feel like they're getting some sort of backlash at my expense. I think that's ridiculous. I think, you know, everyone should be able to live their life normally. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. You can say, hey, I don't agree with what you did, but, you know, do it in a respectful way that's not like antagonizing. And, you know, even with Shelly, like me and Shelly, we're not the closest, but we're cool with each other. And, you know, I do wish her the best and I do care for her as a person. We can still hug each other and say hi. It's not like oh, fuck you. Like, it's not that at all. And I don't think anyone should be getting any type of hatred at all. Like, I think we should focus more on positive than negative. Like, I still love Olandria. Like, if you know, if I'm not hating her, I don't think anyone should be. I think that, you know, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but I think there are lines that are crossed. And I don't condone hate. I don't condone bullying. I don't condone anything of that. I think people's safeties are at risk.
I never once saw that on y'all end. Y'all want to sit up here and talk about different things and stuff like that. I never once saw that on y'all end. I've never once seen Shelly say, hey, you know, we need to stop the racism, because she was receiving just as much racism as you guys were. Like, literally, her country is going through a genocide right now, y'all. Like, right now, as we speak, her country is going through a genocide. This would have been the best time for you guys to address the racism, but what did y'all do? Y'all went to go follow hate pages. And this is my thing. I can't keep defending Huda. Like, I just can't keep defending Huda. If Huda don't want to defend Huda, that's her business. Because this should have been the reunion for Huda to put everything out on the floor? But no, did she put stuff out on the floor? No, she just kept copping please, like I said, like a robot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you. I'm sorry. All these I'm sorry. Huda don't owe them an apology. Because, and my thing is this, if Huda owed them an apology, where's their apology? Because I didn't hear nobody speaking out on behalf of Huda and the racism she was receiving. Huda even went as far to tell Olandria while they were doing the reunion, I was receiving racism too. Olandria didn't call it. She didn't even, like, it's like her brain didn't even process it. It's like her brain didn't even, like, it's like Olandria didn't even care. Like, the vibe it gave off was like, well, mine was worse because I'm a black woman. And that's what I'm saying. Like, throughout this whole entire season, this is what I was saying. Like, people were picking and choosing. People were picking and choosing who to hold accountable and who to not hold accountable. And that's why I was like, nah, like, we're not finna do that. Like, and that's why I had the stance that I had the stance when it came to Huda and the Olandria situation. If Huda was sitting up there following hate pages towards Shelly and Olandria, people would be crucifying her and holding her to the cross. So I don't understand as to why we not doing the same thing for the two girls over there. Like, I don't get it. And Shelly bringing up Huda's daughter, saying, oh, we were supposed to see your kid. This is Shelly. You said that Huda wasn't a friend of yours on several occasions in that house. You got out of the villa and you never followed Huda. Huda was never on your follow radar. Before people started doing podcasts, mind you, all the podcasts that were done, Huda's podcasts were like the last podcast. Shelly, Olandria, Ace, all of them, they all did podcasts before Huda. They was all saying different things before Huda did her podcast. So it's not like she could say, oh, the reason why she didn't follow Huda is because of the podcast. No. When Shelly touched down, because Shelly got kicked out before they did, Shelly followed everyone but Huda. So then to bring up, oh, I was supposed to meet your daughter, it's very, like, manipulative. Honestly speaking, I feel like Olandria's relationship with Huda failed because of Shelly. Like I said in my reviews, Shelly and Olandria, their loyalty to each other is like this. Like, Shelly, I don't think that Shelly cares about anybody but herself. I'm just being completely honest. I don't even think she cares about Ace. I'm not gonna lie. I think okay, let me take that back. I do think she cares about Ace, and I do think she actually loves Ace, but I think Shelly has a main character type of syndrome. Like she'll be fine if her and Ace don't work out, basically. I feel like Olandria's loyalty is like really up here when it comes to Shelly, but I feel like Shelly's is a little down here. Also, with the whole racism situation, I feel like Shelly has selective racism. Like, Shelly picks and chooses what racism she wants to address and what racism, both of them do it. Olandria does it and Shelly do it. Olandria do it like how I told y'all from the beginning when Huda was saying, I got, you know, racist remarks towards me as well. Olandria basically like just brushed it off. Shelly does it because she still hangs out with Cierra. And my thing is like, y'all want to pick and choose, you know, what racism y'all want to accept and what racism y'all don't want to accept, while at the same token trying to garner sympathy from the viewers. That's not how it works. Number two, Huda don't got shit to do with the racism towards her fan base, because y'all's fan base was showing racism towards Huda. She didn't hold y'all accountable for that. And like I said before, I feel like if Shelly wasn't in the mix, Olandria and Huda would still be friends. But like I said, I feel like Olandria feels like her loyalty lies with Shelly, and ain't nothing wrong with that. But Olandria low-key be giving follower at times, because Olandria's like, oh, that was the turning point. That was the turning point. But the turning point wasn't when Austin was being a racist, because you still talk to Austin. That's what I'm saying. Like, people picking and choosing, and I don't like it. We almost done, y'all. I know we've been here for a minute. I'm sorry, y'all. I have to address everything. Now, we are going to talk about the heart rate challenge. I don't really care about the heart rate challenge. There's not really much. Like, what? Like, I don't know. Like, there's not really much. At the end of the day, everybody said as a whole that they had a meeting before the challenge and they asked what's off limits. If Shelly really felt like that was going to be a, you know, a no-no, she should have said it. She should have addressed it. Everybody as a group decided that yeah, we could do anything. Nothing is off limits. When it now comes time for everyone to do everything, now people are complaining. And we see in the clip that Chris literally was licking in between Shelly's thighs. Then we also saw that Shelly put her leg up and bumped her coochie in front of Chris's face. But she's mad at the fact that Huda went and licked at Ace's dick and then she shook her ass. And I'm just like, it's a heart rate challenge. Like, I just don't understand what we're talking about. I just don't get it. Like, I don't get what we're discussing, like, at all. I don't get what we're discussing. I don't care. Yeah, also the Hannah getting sent home situation, I didn't really address it. Honestly, one thing that I will say about Hannah getting sent home, and us watching the full entire clip of how the girls decided they were going to send Hannah home, is that Hannah, you look so dumb right now. I think Hannah looks a fool, because my thing is this: when Hannah got dumped from the villa, she literally was liking and talking so negatively about Huda. Like, the hatred for Huda was there. Like, I remember looking at the clips like, this girl really dislikes Huda. And literally, when you look at the dumping video, you see Huda literally advocated for her. You literally see Huda being like, I don't want Hannah to go home. I don't want Hannah to go home. I don't want Hannah to go home. And Hannah is literally at home reposting a whole bunch of negative stuff about Huda, liking negative things about Huda. Meanwhile, Huda was one of the main ones who wanted her to stay. And I'm happy they showed us the clip, because it just goes to show that throughout this whole entire season, Huda was wrong for the shit that she did. But so was Hannah, so was Olandria, so was Shelly, so was everybody. Everybody had a fault for different things that they did throughout the season. And I feel like this reunion vindicated her. Whether you like Huda, whether you dislike Huda, she was the show. There's no show without Huda. I don't care what nobody says. She was the show. And no matter how you feel about Huda, we can all admit that this reunion, she got that. She won this reunion. The receipts were out there. We got to see different clips of her advocating for people who we claimed up and down she hated and all this shit. We got to see different clips of her advocating for her bringing Chris back for both of them, and not just for Shelly or not just for her. Huda, the receipts were shown. And I feel like a lot of people, at the very least, if you don't like Huda, at the very least you can admit that some of y'all took it too far with the hatred. Some of y'all did too much. And I'm happy that I stood 10 toes on my beliefs, because this reunion not only vindicated Huda, it vindicated everything I said from the beginning. This reunion was a full circle moment for me, because a lot of people were unsubscribing and getting mad and stuff, and arguing with me and stuff about everything that everyone was arguing with me about. I ended up being right in this reunion, and I'm happy that I didn't switch my stance. I'm happy that I didn't let people change me. I'm happy that I didn't let people influence me. I'm happy that I stood on my 10s and I called it out for what it was, and I didn't back down. I'm happy I didn't back down, because I seen everything. Because now I've been seeing a whole bunch of videos of people flipping on Shelly now, and I don't like that. Because my thing is this: y'all stay with y'all faves. Because see me, my only fave was Amaya. I like Huda. But y'all already know. I liked Huda since before the show. So I like Huda for like gym content. You feel me? I don't like, Huda's a gym influencer. So I liked Huda for gym content before the show. But the person who I liked the most was Amaya. That's why when it come to Amaya, I'm like, yeah, Brian doing bad, but I'm still happy that Amaya won. That's my fave. It should be the same thing with Shelly. Like, I don't like how y'all switching up now, because a lot of people been making videos like they used to like Shelly, but they don't like her no more, and this and that because of this reunion. And I'm like, y'all mean to sit up here and tell me from a hour and 50-minute reunion, now all of a sudden y'all don't like Shelly? This shit played out in front of our faces on the show, but y'all was too wrapped up in the moment, and y'all started making like stuff about race wars and, you know, all that shit, that y'all really forgot to listen to the shit that they was really arguing about. And that's what I was trying to tell y'all when I said I'm not trying to bring race into this situation. Not saying that race don't need to be brought into it, because it became a race situation when the fans started making it. But when I was making them Love Island reviews, I'm speaking from the standpoint of what I see going on inside the house. I'm not looking at nobody's skin color at the moment. I'm looking at the actual situation at hand. Then when we look at the actual situation at hand, then we can talk about skin colors. And from the beginning, when I was looking at the actual situation in hand, a lot of people were copping pleas, and a lot of people was moving weird. A lot of people was moving like mean girls and getting mad when they were called mean girls when they left the villa. And now all of a sudden people want to switch on Shelly. No, don't switch on Shelly. Shelly been Shelly. That's how Shelly was. Shelly was like that in the villa. What y'all? I am so disappointed in Shelly. The fuck you disappointed in Shelly for? Shelly been doing that. That's how Shelly been. Shelly don't take accountability. Accountability and Shelly don't go together. But yeah, y'all, that's the review. All in all, my throat dry as hell, y'all. My throat dry. It's 6 in the morning. I'm about to go to bed so I can wake up and put this video out. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts. I'm ready for my comment section to be in shambles.